Gunther from Germany, and I want to tell you a little bit about the German educational system in general, and then also the Hochschule Hannover, which is where you could maybe do part of your studies if you want to. So first off, the German educational system is very different from the one in the US. We have 4 years of primary school where we start learning English around 2nd or 3rd grade, and then after that it is split up into 3 branches. We have it's going to be a lot of German words, but it'll make sense, hopefully. The Hauptschule, which is only 5 years and prepares you for like basic life needs that you have concerning education. It also prepares you for an apprenticeship, which is usually the route people go who attend this branch. And then the Realschule, it's like more of a bridge between Gymnasium and the Hauptschule. And you can, if you do well in the Realschule, you can transition to the Gymnasium, which is the case for all 3. If you do really well in one, you can try to move up into the other one, or if you do really bad, you can still get your degree and graduate on a lower level. And then the Gymnasium, it's 8 or 9 years, depending on the school you go to, and only the last 2 years count towards your Abitur and your GPA, which you guys refer to it here. And then, yeah, it's more academically oriented, and yeah, you have a lot of different subjects, and it's basically the hardest one, I suppose. University requirements are either Abitur or Fachabitur, which I'll get to in a little bit, and of course a certain GPA depending on your major, which one would do. Some don't have any requirements concerning GPA, and some do have really high requirements. Medicine, for example. Okay, so if you go to a Hauptschule, and then maybe, because maybe in primary school you didn't do that well, so you go to the Hauptschule, you're like, oh, this is easy, you know, you get the hang of it, and you have a high GPA, you can move to Realschule, and then once you finish that, you can make a Fachabitur by doing some practical work experience, and then they can count towards your GPA and get you into university. And even if you study in the field that you worked in, you can get rid of some courses you might have to take later on. Or if you go to a gymnasium and you get your Abitur, which is what most people do in general, and then that immediately lets you get into university. And then it's only a question of which major do you want and what are specific requirements for that major. Applying to university, I think this is pretty similar for most countries. You just find a major that interests you and that you qualify for. For example, maybe you need a language certificate or a certificate of some competencies concerning computer sciences, maybe. And then you send in the requested documentation. Most people apply to multiple universities and maybe even different majors. Then once they receive the answers, they choose which one they really want to go to the most, and let the universities know, I'm choosing this one, you guys can give the spot you gave me to somebody else. Because a lot of people apply for a lot of different things. And so there's the basic quota you have for people who can come in. And then there's a separate way where there's a lottery system for most of them to kind of prevent bias and give everybody a chance, even if your GPA is maybe not as good. Or you can go on a waiting list, maybe work in the meantime. If you really want to study that one major, you can just apply. They say, okay, you're on spot 20 on our waiting list, wait for a little bit, work in the meantime, and then you can get into that major. So there's a difference because I'm from Hochschule Hannover, which is a little bit different from university, but nowadays it's very similar. It used to be a lot more different. So universities are very focused on academics and research and studies and stuff like that. They have usually larger classes and the most common majors, I would say. But it's not as an intimate learning experience as a Hochschule, because they have a more practical approach. They really want to prepare you for work life. So you have lectures, and then immediately after or the day after, you have exercises to practice what you learned in theory. And you have smaller classes, so the professors are really open to help you out, teach you one-on-one more often. Yeah. And you have more specific majors, like my major, for example, health information management. There's only 2 universities in Germany who offer it. I think in the US there's not that many, I think like about 60, maybe in all of the US. And so it's more specific and also therefore a bit more expensive, but nothing compared to over here. Yeah, and then grades are based usually only on the finals. Sometimes you have midterms, but it's mostly just one final exam that makes up your whole grade, unless you had a project or maybe a group presentation that can count towards it, but at least 70% is probably going to be made up of your final exam. But this also means that you don't have to maybe, if you're feeling like you're doing alright. You don't have to come every day or do everything every day. You can just be like, I think I understood this, so if you know or you feel like you got it for the final exam, then you're good to go. So the Hochschule Hannover is the University of Applied Science and Arts, as you would call it in English. It was founded in 1971 out of the Fachhochschule Hannover, which is similar and was combining a lot of different educational entities into one. It's the second largest university in Hanover, and apparently a lot smaller than the one in Madrid, with 9,600 enrolled students and about 620 professors and employees. You would think that with a smaller university you get to know everybody, but there's something very specific about the Hochschule Hannover. It's split up into 4 locations for the 5 faculties. So we have the city center, which is around here, and then you have the different faculties you can see over there with their different focuses, which is similar to as in Spain, where they're a lot more independent. And if you want to do something administrative, you go to your faculty and not necessarily the university overall. And then, so this one right here is at Expo Plaza. This is where I study. So as you can see, it's kind of far out, which is sometimes not the best thing, but also it's a pretty good campus overall. And then yeah, so we have different locations here, and also in Germany, the public transportation is just really good, and you get the ticket for every public transportation in your in your tuition. It's included, so you can basically go for free to all of these places. And yeah, if you want to go to a library from this faculty, but you belong to this one, it's perfectly fine, and you can just go there. Then I have a few majors that are offered for the different faculties. Oh yeah, concerning English, most majors will have parts that are in German. So if you want to go to Germany, I definitely recommend learning some basic German. But you can definitely find a few that are only in English, or most of them have parts that are in English. Certain professors that teach in English, or certain lectures that are in English. Okay, so then we have the different faculties with applied mathematics, mechatronics, industrial engineering, mechanical engineering, production technology, things like that. Then faculty 3, which is my faculty with medical information management. We also have design students for visual communication, public relations. Faculty 4 is more of a business faculty. So if you study anything with business, you're probably faculty number 4. And faculty 5 is social work, caretaking, and British pedagogy. Do you guys have any questions so far? Yes, please.
Is there chemical engineering or chemistry at this university?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about stuff like political science?
Definitely, yeah. So now I have some pictures. Some are not the best resolution, but I hope you get the idea. This is just downtown Hanover, pretty much, with the church and then nice pictures around it. We have another one which is the city center pedestrian zone in the city center. So yeah, this is just for pedestrians, no cars whatsoever. So this is just to walk, enjoy the shops, and enjoy downtown.
No cars?
Yeah, there are no cars allowed there. It's just a zone where pedestrians only. It's like, yeah, downtown. This is our city hall with the pond in front of it, and there's like grass areas around. This is usually where on Fridays or Saturdays you find a lot of people pre-drinking for a good night in town. Because of course the legal drinking age for everything is 18, and for beer and wine it's 16 in Germany. So yeah, people just enjoy doing it outside because it's also allowed to drink in public. This is the Herrenhäuser Gärten, which is a garden area with a lot of beautiful, artful biology and plants all around. It's a really nice place to visit. And this is the campus in Linden, which is one of the 4 locations. Then we have, this is faculty number 5 for like caretaking and stuff like that, where I also had an English course. And now this is the building I'm in. This is on the Expo Plaza. So you would see this is our building over here, and there's a few more buildings over there, and a sports arena back there. And yeah, a lot of old buildings that are left over from the Expo 2000, which was in Hanover, that are now used for the university. This is some design or media students on top of one of the old buildings that's still standing. You see there's a lot more rural, it's kind of outside of Hanover. You see a lot of green and trees over there. And then this is the second building, so Expo Plaza 12 will be over here. This 2 for more like media and design and crafts and things like that. It's a nicer building, but yeah, it's art, I suppose. This is Planet M, which is also left over from the Expo, of course. It used to be for, or it still is basically for presentations and assemblies. Go there like once or twice a year maybe, and it's really nice inside and looks pretty cool. And then yeah, this is the entrance to Expo Plaza 12. And this is a look inside with artful but very uncomfortable yellow benches. And then yeah, the rooms are just basically spread out over the whole building. And sometimes, especially in the summer, there are concerts on the area. So yeah, this is like the sports arena. Expo Plaza 12 will be over here. You can see the Planet M, which is up here, and then yeah, there's like concerts and things like that. Do you guys have any more questions? Thank you so much.